It often starts with a message. A job. A salary. A way out.
I was expecting a good job there, but my situation flapped.
This is how the recruitment begins. The war in Ukraine has become a long and costly conflict. Russian forces have suffered heavy losses.
Russia doesn't publish its casualty figures, and it's only when you come to a place like this that you get a sense of the scale of the losses. And this is just one cemetery in one town in one region.
And of course, with the war grinding on, it needs to replace them.
Growing numbers of mercenaries from Cameroon, Ghana, Senegal, Uganda, and other African nations reveal the extent to which Russia is struggling to recruit fresh troops among its own population.
An investigation by Impact identified at least 1,417 African nationals recruited by Russia between 2023 and 2025. These recruits come from dozens of countries across the continent. Many are young men looking for work abroad. Others are students or migrants already living in Russia. The promise of a salary, legal residency, or even citizenship can make the offer difficult to refuse.
They tell me we will provide for you a passport and money, monthly $2,000.
And Russian passport.
Russian passport.
For the Russian government, the recruitment of foreign fighters has become a way to maintain manpower while avoiding further mobilization at home.
Did you know that you'd end up fighting?
Behind the scenes, recruitment campaigns spread through social media, messaging apps, and online advertisements.
He told us there's a job opportunity over here in Russia, which is security work. So if we are interested, maybe we'll give you money.
Posts promote salaries that are far higher than what many candidates could earn in their home countries, along with medical insurance and fast-tracked Russian citizenship. Many ads show images of modern campuses, smiling students, or promises of career opportunities abroad.
Where are you from?
Nigeria.
Welcome to Russia.
In many cases, recruiters claim that the work will be safe, or that recruits will serve in support roles away from the front lines. But these promises are often misleading. Behind the advertisements lies a network of intermediaries. Travel agencies, migration brokers, and local recruiters help arrange visas and travel to Russia.
Non, ça va. Je suis du Cameroun. Je suis venu ici en Russie.
Some agencies promote opportunities to study or work in Russia, while quietly steering candidates toward military contracts.
5 people arrested in connection with allegedly luring South Africans to Russia to fight in the Russia-Ukraine war are accused of luring 3 men who are all in their early 20s to Russia to fight as Russian mercenaries.
In some cases, individuals are paid hundreds of dollars for each new fighter they bring into the system.
Из Сомали, да? Из Индии.
India.
Откуда? Syria.
The recruitment network has gradually evolved into a business ecosystem built around the war.
Ngo mu nyuma yasobanuriye arambwira ati wasinye contract yo kuba umusirikare.
For many recruits, the reality becomes clear only after they arrive in Russia.
I didn't know what I was going there.
So you were tricked into...
Yeah. I trusted this man.
Some report being pressured to sign contracts written in Russian that they cannot read.
yongera adusinyisha ku mpapuro zitari nke tutigeze tumenya ikintu na kimwe dusinye.
Others describe being transferred quickly to military training facilities and then sent to the front. Captured soldiers have told investigators that they expected ordinary employment.
Which job did they offer you?
A security guard. That's what I was expecting, but nobody told me that you are going to the front line.
But instead found themselves assigned to assault units in Ukraine.
It's not easy.
What began as a search for opportunity becomes participation in a foreign war.
ntabwo naje no kuba umusirikare, naje kwiga.
The casualties among foreign recruits have been significant. Investigations have documented hundreds of African fighters killed in Ukraine.
If they have that humanity, they can bring my husband back so that I can bury him.
In many cases, the time between signing a contract and dying on the battlefield is only a few months. Some soldiers are killed within weeks of arriving at the front. This pattern has led researchers to conclude that many recruits are placed in high-risk assault roles where survival chances are low. Russia's recruitment effort in Africa is not limited to soldiers. Another program targets young women who are recruited to work in Russian industry. One of the most visible initiatives is known as Alabuga Start.
I wanted to get a profession and succeed. Added that no obstacle would stop us.
The program recruits young women from several countries to work in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone in Tatarstan.
They're recruiting people via social media, they're hiring kind of influencers to talk about how it's such an amazing opportunity for kind of work and learning in Russia.
They're given housing, jobs, and on top of that, they are taught how to speak Russian.
Officially, the program promises professional training, employment, and the chance to build a career in Russia.
Right now, because spots are limited.
However, the industrial complex at Alabuga is also linked to the production of drones used in the war in Ukraine, including drones based on the Iranian-designed Shahed 136. Many of the recruits appear to have little knowledge of the military role their work may play.
Это самый большой завод в мире по производству ударных беспилотников и самый секретный.
After international media attention exposed the recruitment of young women from Africa,
Alabuga Start program.
Alabuga Start?
The Alabuga Work program in Russia.
Reports suggest that the program has become less visible and that Russia has shifted more of its recruitment toward the domestic population. Investigations indicate that factories linked to the program have begun recruiting local workers, including teenagers as young as 14, to support drone production.
Меня зовут Николай. Я студент второго курса Alabuga Политех.
Меня зовут Вячеслав.
Меня зовут Александр.
Меня зовут Иван.
Меня зовут Дарина. Мне 16 лет. И уже в следующем году я буду зарабатывать 150 тысяч рублей в месяц.
Russia's recruitment campaign relies on economic realities across much of Africa. Youth unemployment is high in many countries, and opportunities to migrate legally to Europe have become increasingly limited. For young people seeking work abroad, Russia presents itself as an alternative destination.
Many of the people who are being recruited are often in very desperate situations, and because of their circumstances, they would be willing to cooperate.
Recruiters take advantage of these hopes by offering salaries, travel, and a promise of a better future.
When I applied for Russia, Russia agreed to give me a visa within 1 week. So I was expecting a good kind of job there, but my situation flagged.
For many recruits, the journey leads not to prosperity, but to a war they never expected to fight. The war in Ukraine has expanded far beyond the front lines. Through recruitment networks, migration schemes, and industrial labor programs, Russia has built an international pipeline of manpower for its war effort.
We should be ashamed to take somebody in the front line. That war does not concern us Africans. So why take our people?
For thousands of recruits, the journey begins with a simple message online promising opportunity. For some, it ends on a battlefield thousands of kilometers away from home. The system has turned desperation into a resource for war. But exposure matters.
It's emerging that many of the Africans among them might not be volunteers.
Investigations by journalists, researchers, and international organizations are increasingly bringing these recruitment networks into the open.
Some of them have either been imprisoned, they may have been students, they may have been living in the country for some time, and they are approached covertly and promised citizenship, promised freedom in exchange for fighting at the front line.
As more of these stories emerge, pressure is growing for governments, companies, and platforms to stop the exploitation of vulnerable recruits. Because the young people answering these advertisements are not soldiers in someone else's war. They are students, workers, and migrants searching for a future. And that future should not end on a battlefield.